Hello there. Okay, we are on to a new neck stretch. So what I'm doing with this series of movements to start with is each day I'm giving you a small drop of a movement you can do that will nourish your body, that's moving you in 3 dimensions, bringing in all the resources. The resources, when I say that, this is what I mean. The oxygen, the nutrients, the heat, the fluids, the vital flow, the vital energy. We're pulling all that into all the nooks and crannies of your body, the joints, the tissues, the fascia. And then by the same token, as we're pulling that in, we're pushing the bad stuff out, the toxins and the metabolic waste. Then what I'm going to do after I give you these little drops is I'm going to start maybe this week or next giving you little combinations that you can do of these movements, okay? So that you can now start to put them together into longer little routines. We're going to start off today with feet medium stance. You can also do this seated on any kind of chair or a couch or in the car. We're going to the next level of the neck. So what we're going to do, this is called the horseshoe. I'm going to always ask you to check, is your neck back over the spine? Because again, most people's heads are forward because of posture, driving, reading, computers. So get that head back. Immediately you're going to see you're going to feel your core tightening. You're also going to want to also lengthen through the neck. Those are 2 good rules of thumb. Head back, lengthen through the neck. Both of those things engage your core automatically. Then what we're going to do is we're going to bring the head to the side and then bring it forward. Come back to the center, other side, and forward. I call this the horseshoe. Side and forward. This feels really good. You can make it a little more fluid. Go at the speed and the range that feels good for you. If you're feeling a pinch at any point, you can use that as a boundary and don't go that far. Sometimes if you continue, the pinch will actually go away because of the lubrication, the heat, and the softening of the tissues. See, as we soften the tissues, bring heat and lubrication and hydration into the tissues are what control the joint. So if I have a joint, let's say a knee joint, the tissues below the knee joint, the tissues above the knee joint, if they're dry and tight, they compress that joint and they create more friction and irritation and inflammation. As we loosen the tissues, heat, hydrate, make those tissues more elastic and malleable, there's less compression, less friction, and that eases the joint, that eases the friction, that reduces the inflammation, and you feel better, you don't feel as stiff. Okay, so that was called the horseshoe. The counterpart to the horseshoe is, again, head back. Let's start forward. This is the opposite of the horseshoe. Then I'm going to come back at the side. I'm going to go forward and back at the side. So these 2 stretches are called the horseshoe and opposite of the horseshoe. Just like that. That feels really good. Let that head roll back. Now, when you're doing this one, I'm not just rolling my skull. I'm actually moving my neck back too. Neck forward, neck back, and then skull back. Just like that. There's not a number you have to do. You just go into it, feels good. Maybe 6 or 7 on each. Come back to the center. Okay, this next one is called the wobble neck. It's a little harder to explain. What we're going to do is I want you to imagine your skull. This is the bottom of your skull, and this is the top of the first vertebrae. What we're going to do is we're going to lift the left side of your neck, left side of your skull. Then we're going to lift the front side. Then we're going to lift the other side and then the back side. And we're going to keep doing that idea, okay? It also reminds me if you spun a quarter on a table and then it starts to wobble, you get that kind of wobbling effect. So if somebody's doing it wrong, it looks like this. They're laying over and they're doing this. I don't like that as much because it's compressive. I'm doing the opposite. I'm doing decompressive. So I'm lifting up through this side of my neck, this quadrant of my neck and my spine. Then I'm going to lift up the front, decompress. Then I'm going to decompress this side. Then I'm going to decompress the back. So it looks like this. I'm decompressing, 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 decompressing. When I pull it all together, it looks like this. It's the wobble neck. Do a few intentional like that, then change directions There's definitely now an element of pushing up to the ceiling with your head. Like imagine touching your head on the ceiling. After I do a few intentionally like that, then I might loosen it up a little bit and make it a little bit less fluid, a little more fluid, change directions. I love this wobble neck one. Stop and take a deep breath in. Now what we're gonna do in subsequent videos is I'm gonna combine the neck with other movements, that neck stretch with other movements, and that really helps loosen up the girdle, which is gonna ease tension and stress through the shoulder girdle, the neck, the shoulders, and help you even more. Thank you so much.